In this section, we're going to talk about the view commands. They're up here at the top in your View 1 window. The first three we're going to skip over. We'll come back to them, which are the view attributes, the display style list, and the adjust view brightness. We'll go over them in a separate video. So we'll skip over to this next tool, which is update view. And basically all this tool does is if you've been out there and you've been drawing some text or some lines and something doesn't quite look right on your screen, you can just click this update view tool and it'll just kind of refresh your screen and update the view real quick. The next one on your toolbar is the zoom in tool. If I left click to select it, you're going to notice you get some options under here. You have your zoom in ratio, which is set to 2. So it's going to zoom in at a factor of 2. If you wanted to change that, you could. We're just going to leave it set to 2 for this example. Maybe I want to go out and zoom in on this island. So kind of get my cursor over the center of the island. I just left click to accept. It's going to zoom it in to the factor of 2. If I want to keep going, I can keep left clicking. Once I'm zoomed in to where I want, I'll just right click to reset it. If we go back up to the view commands, the next one is zoom out. So the first time I left click on it, it's going to automatically zoom out. And it's going to zoom out at a factor of whatever you have it set to. It's going to zoom out at a factor of 2. Now if I go out to my screen, I can still zoom out. And based on where my cursor is, that's going to be the center focus point as the zoom out. So if I left click in this area where these two boats are, it's going to zoom out and it's going to try to center it on that location. The next view command is window area. I'm going to left click to select that one. Now if I want to zoom into a certain area, maybe I want to zoom into this driveway entrance with this mailbox down here, I'll just go out and left click to start my zoom window box. You can see when you drag it out, you get that little blue box. If I want to zoom into this area right here, I'll just left click to accept it and it'll zoom into that area. You notice you do have an option under here that says apply to window. What this option does is if I want to zoom into an area on view number 1, which is open now, and I wanted to apply it to another view, I could do that. And I'll show you an example of that in just a minute. The next tool is just to fit view, and what it does is it takes everything inside the drawing file and tries to fit it into this view number 1. So if I just left click on it, it's going to take everything in this drawing file and try to fit it into the view. You do have some options under here. You can set it to all, active, reference, and raster. So based on what you select is what it's going to try to fit into the view. For the most part, you're probably going to leave it set to all. But if you had a raster or something that you just wanted to fit all of that into the view, you could select raster and then do your fit view. I'm going to come back to the window area tool again. I'm going to open a second view, which I can do up here. I'm just going to select this number 2 and open up a second view. And then I'm just going to tile them real quick. We're going to go over these tools in a little bit. I'm going to come back to view number 1. I'm going to fit this view. But now maybe I want this entrance and this mailbox down here to be zoomed in to view number 2. I'm going to have to come up to this window area. I'm going to select apply it to window 2. Now I'm going to come down here and create my area I want to zoom into. Left click once, left click twice, and it's going to zoom into that area in view number 2. I'm going to go ahead and close view number 2. And I'm going to maximize this view number 1. The easiest way to do it is just to double left click on the title block, and I'm going to do another fit view. The next one on the toolbar is rotate view. You probably won't use this one a whole lot in a 2D file, which this file is. I'm going to go ahead and left click on it, select it. You have a couple different methods. You have 2 points, dynamic, and unrotated. I'm going to go ahead and set it to dynamic. Now you'll get this little crosshair out here. And basically this is the point that you rotated about, so I can move it wherever I want. Maybe I want to rotate it somewhere in here. Now all I have to do is go out and left click to define the first point to rotate it around. And now when I go out and drag my cursor, you can see it's rotating that item. Once I get it to where I'd want, I just left click to end it. Of course, if I set it to 2 points, basically I just define my first point I want to rotate, define my second point by left clicking, and it's going to rotate it based on those points. So my first point, my second point, and it's going to rotate it. And then you have unrotated. Based on how this drawing was created, it's going to unrotate my view. So I'm going to do a fit view. Get back to my entire drawing. And then I'm going to move on to the next tool, which is the pan tool. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into this road down here on the bottom. I'll use my zoom in tool. If I left click on the pan tool, I come out to my screen, you can see you've got a little hand now. If I left click on it, you can notice that handle closed. Now I can drag my view wherever I want. I can just left click to release it. Or if I want, I can left click and hold my mouse button down and drag it that way. The next view command is view previous. So if I left click on it, it's just going to zoom to the previous view. If you keep clicking on it, it's just going to keep zooming previous to your first view you had. And the next one is the view next command. If you just left click on it, it's going to zoom to the next view on your screen up to your last view. The next command is the copy view. And what that will do is if you have view 1 the way you want it, you could copy that view and then copy it into like another view, like view number 2 or something like that. The next 2 commands we won't be going over. They're clip volume and clip mask. If you find a need to use some of these tools, you could either research it by yourself or you could always call as a CAD support and we could help you with these tools.